And the picture in front of you on the title screen, if you can see it, I'm not sure how well you can see it, is a picture from Istanbul, Turkey, of the cisterns, and it was what they used in old Roman times in the Byzantine Empire, where you actually had the water. So this was an incredible site, and I use this because this is where I first did the presentation, was at a International Project Management Association conference that was in Istanbul, Turkey. So I thought, well, you can enjoy a little bit of my travel through this picture. Now, I am a PMP. I am a Certified Function Point Specialist, which is the CFPS. I'm a fellow. I have been a Function Point Specialist for over 20 years. I'm a Certified Scrum Master and Agile Expert certified as well. So I've been involved in software development for over 20 years. My kids are over 20, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of how long I've been involved. But having come from an engineering background, things have to make sense before I can present them. So that's a benefit to you, and I've been told by many people that I have the ability to make complex concepts seem simple or seem less technical. So I think that's a good thing. So I hope you'll bear with me and enjoy the presentation. Started. So often take a look at history and historical figures and how history repeats itself. And the title of this presentation came from Thomas Paine, who was really, if you've never heard of him, he was one of the outspoken founding fathers of the United States. He lived from 1737 to 1809, and this is his picture. A little bit of his background. He was actually part of the French Revolution in the 1790s. He was British by nature, or by birth, and he inspired the rebels in 1776, our American Revolution, and he's been touted as being part of the Enlightenment. He inspired Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln, and in 1793 he was actually imprisoned in Paris, and our future president at the time, James Monroe, used his diplomatic ties to get him released. So he had this saying of, you know what, lead, follow, or get out of the way. A very colorful person. And when I think about project scope, about IT projects, I really think that we need to either step up, either embrace some really good practices, or just hide your head in the sand and say, maybe my project will go away. I think we've got some opportunities and some great concepts that are around, especially in the Agile community, where we can be almost project revolutionaries when it comes to project scope. So look at project management models, and I'm just going to put a few of these up. We've got, here's the kind of tried and true one where you've got cost on the one part of the triangle, which is either dollars or resources. Cost is variable. It can include people plus resources plus hardware, that type of thing. We've got time in terms of duration and schedule, and then we've got scope. That's one model. Another model puts quality in the middle. Another scope and quality in the middle and puts resources on the bottom. We've got another one, we called it the iron triangle of project management, which was actually removed in version 4 of the PMBOK. We've got called the project diamond. We've got time, capacity, and scope, which is a little bit different. We've got another one that kind of puts scope, cost, quality, and time. It's various combinations. And then we've also got the burn down chart. And the burn down slope is really a function of cost and time. And fidelity. Well, project managers love models. So we've got another model. Additional models. So we take them, we include integration now. We've got another one where we take the traditional iron triangle. We say, okay, now we've got an agile triangle. Here that shows scope, cost, quality, delivers value to the customer. You see me, I'm not speaking something brand new. And then we've got even more project management models. So we bring in some of the I think it's called spider web sometimes, the NTCP diamond, where we've got technology and complexity and novelty and pace. And we've got customer satisfaction models where we put everything around a hexagon. Scope leads to higher quality. Well, we just shrink that iron triangle down, but it's going to cost us more. So there's a lot of different models we've got on the market. Well, I like to use is by Shahar, and he said, let's reinvent project management. Here's his quote: success should not be defined just in terms of scope, cost, and time, which are strictly efficiency-based. And remember, efficiency means you do things, how quickly, how productive. He says, no, the focus should be more on business results and customer satisfaction. Efficiency, customer, team, business needs, and future needs. This is much more gearing towards the effectiveness. Well are we doing? How well do we meet the customer's needs? How well do we meet their expectations? Take a look at any project that we've worked on. Say, for example, any major software development project that we would classify as being a success. Do we remember if it's on time or on budget? Or do we remember that it actually worked? I remember talking to Tim Lister, who is part of the Atlantic Systems Guild with Tom DeMarco, and he said some of the systems that were in place in the year 2000, when we were doing the year 2000, the 4-digit year versus the 2-digit year, at that time, he said, some of the systems that were envisioned in the year 2000 were supposed to last that long. They were supposed to live for 5 years, maybe 10 years max. He said, here we were at the year 2000 looking back and saying, wow, some of these systems have lasted 20 years. When you look at a system that has lasted and been in place for 20 years, it doesn't matter if it was a month late. It doesn't matter if it went $1,000 or $15,000 or $100,000 over budget. If it works, got adherence to scope, and the customers are happy, what do you think? I'm just a moment and write in the chat box. What really matters on your successful project 5 years down the road? Does it we were on budget? And I'd just like you to type in the chat box, is the most important thing when you look at a successful project 5 years down the road, is it the cost, that we were on budget? Is it that we delivered on the exact schedule? Is it that we adhered to scope and that we satisfied the customers? What do you think? Value, definitely. Customer satisfaction, yes. That it works and still works, absolutely. And scope, yes, it's something more than purely on budget, because on time and on budget, let me tell you, we've predicted those oftentimes early before we had any idea of what's going on. So I'd like you to think, I'm going to push your boundaries a little bit and get you to think outside the box. So let's look at the 7 wonders of the ancient world. We've got the Temple of Artemis, we've got the Mausoleum, the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the Statue of Zeus at Olympia, the Colossus of Rhodes, and the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Are these wonders? What makes them wonders? Number 1, they've stood the test of time. Number 2, they wonder, how the heck did they ever achieve these? Talk about, I wonder if they went over budget. I wonder if they delivered on time.